So we've learned a little bit about how to draw, how to hold our pencil, how to produce a quality of line, different qualities of line. The line, of course, we want to be smooth. We don't want it to be sort of all like this or sort of shaky. Equally well, we don't want it to be like this. Equally well, we don't want it to be like this. Okay, we just want quite pure, quite fluid lines, and that's what we're going to be using in our work. We went on, didn't we, just to have a look at creating and the best way to draw, and using thick thin line technique. And we learned a little bit about perspective in regards to sheep that are nearer seem bigger and sheep that are further away seem smaller. Of course, we know the sheep is actually the same size, and it's exactly the same when we're drawing boxes, that as we get away, or as the box goes away from you, so it gets smaller effectively, or the lines get smaller as we go to distance. However, we know those sides would still be the same size. So if I was to measure that, that would come out at, I don't know, 25 millimeters. If I was to measure that one there, it comes out at more like sort of 50 or 40 millimeters. All right, let's go on to have a look at the main event. And I'm not going to bore you with loads of this, so I'm just going to get the example that I produced earlier on in the class. What we're looking to do is just come up with an idea, and from that idea we're looking to come up with another idea, and that should inspire a third idea and maybe a fourth and a fifth idea. And you can see here what I've got is I've drawn a shape which is pretty ugly, and therefore I've decided that I'm going to put that face, effectively this face, in different position, which I've done, and then I've done it again, and then I've done it again, writing little comments as I go. So how did I do that? Well, I think you boys should be quite good at this, because it's a lot about maths, really. It's a lot about dividing up a shape and geometry, which I think that you're quite strong at. Remember that sort of 50 millimeter thing, that first line should be about 50 millimeters. And so if I were to get there we go, I have got a ruler. What have I got here? Oh, look at that. It's about 47 millimeters, my line. But it should be somewhere around 50. Once you've done that, you can push a line away from it, and then another line away from it, push a line away from it, push another line away from it. And remembering these should be converging at some point. I mean, that's going to be converging up here somewhere. That's going to be converging over here somewhere. And then what we can do is we can put in our other verticals. That's slightly dicky, that one. That's better. And then I'm going to bring my top over to converge with these lines over about there. And then I'm going to bring this one. There you go. Okay, so I'm sort of happy with that. Got my box. And the first one is going to be, I'm going to divide this exactly in half. Divide that side in half and that side in half. Okay, and now I'm going to divide that side in half, and I'm going to project over here. Okay, so I know that that point there is in relation to that side is in the same place as that point there, both halfway, and I know we've got 2 points here. So what I'm going to do is I'm now going to join these two up. And that is going to be the face of my product, which has maybe my 7-second displays on it. You can see I'm moving that piece of paper. And that's the first one done, really. What do I think about that? I don't think it's a very nice shape, to be honest with you. So I'm going to have a look at maybe increasing the size there. So I could, if I wanted to, do it in a very similar way. Okay, another square, another cuboid there might come in a bit. That's probably better. Now what I'm going to do quite happy with that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select a point there. I'm going to project it across to the other side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly the same down here. And so I can increase the size of that diagonal face. But all it is me joining up points. And that would be my second design. Just in regards to designs, because you want to be thinking about what do you need. For example, on here, for example, I could put a couple of 7 segments, making sure that the top of the 7 segment is running parallel and the bottom of the 7 segment is running parallel to the bottom. And then that could be, for example, my output. Okay, maybe on the top there's a PTM. That's my first design. And on my second design, I'm going to do something similar. Keeping all of those maybe down the bottom. I'm going to put some PTMs maybe in the side here. I've got a buzzer inside. And that's where the sound comes out from the buzzer. So I sort of feel like, yeah, this is coming along. Now, what I could do at this point is I could look at doing a different design, maybe one that's much taller. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with a taller vertical. There we go, so do the crate. I'm thinking, well, what about if I had to flip this drawing round? And so, opposed to everything facing that way, what about if I put one in that's facing the other way? And I'm going to use a very similar technique to what I used before. Oh, that's wrong. And that's pretty wrong as well. That's better. I'm going to put some points in. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm going to join these two up. And I'm going to join these two up. Like that. And now what I've got is a very similar shape. I've just spun it around and I've increased the height just a tad. Done that again, haven't I? Which is annoying. And then what I've got is that back as well. Alright. And so on here, I'm going to put my seven segs. Trying to get these proportions correct. I'm going to go for a button. And then I put my buzzer, which is good. That's another design I've come up with, which I'm sort of happy about. So let's take it on another level and start thinking about curves, because that is something else that we should be looking at. Well, all right, let's look at this being a curved front in some way. So again, let's have a look at just drawing in, converging, of course, converging. There we go. So just as before, on that side, I'm going to mark off a couple of points, and on this side, I'm going to mark off a couple of points. Now, opposed to this line being a straight line going up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that as a curved line. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get myself in a comfortable position, which is sort of like here. Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable there. And I'm going to come in. As soon as I've done one, I'm going to do the other one. I don't think that's quite the same curve, but you can see very quickly how I can produce quite an impressive shape there. How exactly this translates into an electronic product, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that's going to be pretty hard, because as soon as you start putting 7 segs in here, what you're going to get is that, isn't it? And so I'm going to go for a different pencil. It's getting a bit blunt. Okay. Ollie earlier on was asking me about cylinders, and cylinders are not that difficult. What you need to do is be able to draw a decent ellipse, and then from that ellipse you just drop down 2 lines, and then at the bottom you're effectively drawing this line again. And then afterwards just come around. What should happen is there shouldn't be, lots of the time when you draw your cylinder, you come down and boys do this thing where they do this, and that becomes like an angle. That shouldn't happen. The curve should go all the way and then start going in the same direction as the line. Okay, so that's a cylinder, and of course what you could do is start adding bits onto that. Another thing Ollie was saying, but what about if I want to slice it through there? Well, if you want to slice it through there, what you need to do is a shape like that. There we go. And of course, what you can start doing is adding one shape on top of another. If you wanted to, for example, you could extend this, and of course we will go to the same sort of vanishing point, and so I'm extending it in a ways. This is the vanishing point over there, and so what I can do is start adding pieces to it, depending. Okay. All right. Then we put this line in, and we will probably get a rubber and rub that other one out. But this could then be, this could have, I don't know, LCD or something, display or yeah, something like that in there. All right. You may be interested in looking at softening the corners, and I'll just show you how to do that. So I'm just going to quickly whip up a crate there. That'll do. So what do we have? We've got that classic sort of shallow. Right, what you need to do is think about one corner. I should have really gone over this. Coming round. You can see very quickly that if we blend one of these lines into the next, it gives the impression it looks a little bit more like a sort of Apple device. Yeah, and that's another thing you can do. So look, I hope this has been useful in learning how to draw. I think we've gone over quite a lot, and it'll give you a good indication of what you need to produce. But just so you're fully informed, what I'm looking for is probably about 10 different drawings, and I want you just to explain your design thinking on the way through. So this could be an ugly shape, this could be a bit squat. I want to make the face bigger. I made the face bigger, but now there's no room for the circuit. I've put a room for the circuit, but again, this has become a bit of an ugly shape. The curved is really nice, but the 7 segs don't lay flash, don't lay flat. And this could be talking about curved edges, but that'd be quite hard, I think, to realise. Therefore, you could look at going for something like this. Yeah, you understand what I'm saying, and that would be your initial design page done. You need to get that done, and I think you need to get also a further design done this week, so we are ready for the following week to get the other 2 developed designs done. I hope that helps. As I say, if you've got any problems, please just let me know. All right.